You're not just imagining this. For the last few years, buying a home has probably been harder than it's ever been in the history of our economy. And here's the worst part. It's not your fault. The harsh reality is that America is short approximately 4 million homes right now. That's an insane number. And that's one of the main reasons prices are so high. And that's why you keep getting outbid, and that's why you feel like you're falling behind. And some of you actually are. So let's break down what's really going on and how you can make smart moves in this current environment. As a mortgage lender for the last 20 years, I help homebuyers navigate complicated situations every single day. And this video isn't just about the headlines. This is about what real people are going through every single day. And I hope this information helps you navigate this mess so you're not crushed by the system. And my goal is simple. I want to help you navigate the housing market and give you education that empowers you to make better decisions and to think with logic, not emotion. So here's the real problem right now. According to Realtor.com, we are short about 4 million homes to balance out the supply and demand. And this isn't some short-term new issue. For over a decade, new home construction has not met the pace of new family formations that are seeking homes. As a result, homeownership among young people has flatlined. Gen Z and millennials are behind where their parents were at the exact same age. In fact, only 26% of Gen Z demographic actually owns a home right now. And the average age of a first-time homebuyer is 38 years old, which is a record high. And if you haven't bought a house yet, it's not because you're irresponsible. It's because the system is set up to make it difficult. It honestly feels like the dream of homeownership is just a race that most people will not win. So let's discuss what's really keeping homes out of reach for your average first-time homebuyer. The first reason is something most people don't even realize or think about, but it's the zoning and red tape around building new homes. Most cities favor single-family zoning, so that limits the amount of new construction condos and sometimes townhomes that can be built and stacked. Another common theme is long approval timelines and restrictive building codes that just slow down the development process. It's just taking longer to get these homes built. As a result, these zoning laws and red tape delay supply, which keeps prices going up. There's also been a material and labor shortage for the last couple years. Building a new home now costs more than ever with rising lumber prices and rising cost of labor. Some builders don't even want to build new homes anymore because the math doesn't add up. They might lose money. And then you throw in the cost of home ownership when it comes to insurance and maintenance. Home insurance is up over 74% since the Great Recession. Some homebuyers just can't afford to move due to insurance and high property taxes. It's getting crazy. And another major issue is what we call the lock-in effect. It's estimated that over 80% of homeowners in the country right now have an interest rate below 6%, so they're kind of locked in because they don't want to buy a new home at a higher price and finance at a higher mortgage rate. As a result, more people are staying in the home they bought years ago, including boomers. Boomers aren't moving. They're chilling right now. They got a ton of equity and they got nowhere to go. So what does this mean for a home buyer like yourself? Well, you're not just up against other buyers. You're up against a system that is built for you to lose. You got low supply, which drives home prices up, and you got high interest rates for the last 3 years, which keeps affordability out of reach for the masses. That said, your buying strategy and how you approach this process has never mattered more. You need the right professionals in your corner. You need good education. You need to understand where your leverage is. And most importantly, you need to have patience and think with logic, not emotion. Now, for some people, they're just going to wait it out, and that might feel safe. But what if home prices keep going up, which they're likely to? It's just going to be more expensive down the road. In a market like this, being informed on what's going on and having the right professionals in your corner, it's not an option. It is a necessity. So how can homebuyers protect themselves and still win in this market? Well, number one is you got to think outside the box a little bit and explore creative financing options. One option is an assumable mortgage where you take over the seller's low interest rate. These are typically available on FHA or VA loans. They're tricky, but they're doable. Another option is taking advantage of local grants and down payment assistance offered in your state or your city. Most of the country is offering down payment grants anywhere from $5,000, $10,000, even $15,000 to buy down your interest rate, to help with your down payment, or to cover some of your closing costs. Ask your mortgage lender about these. And lastly, talk to a good mortgage lender about the creative financing options that the retail banks are not offering. I'm talking about creative solutions for investors. If you're self-employed, bank statement loans, 1099 loans, asset-based loans. There are so many creative options out there that have resurfaced to accommodate buyers that don't fit into the little W-2 box anymore. And again, most retail banks don't offer these, so they don't tell you about them. Another good recommendation is to focus on new construction homes. Believe it or not, for the first time in a long time, the average sale price on a new construction home is slightly lower than the average price on an existing home. And the best part about it, builders are giving incredible incentives to buy down your interest rate into the 3 or 4% range, and they're offering closing cost credits or upgrades for free, Builders need to sell these homes. If you live in a market where there's new construction communities, I'm telling you, go check it out. You'll be surprised at how much of value you can get from these builders. Now, here's some good news. Interest rates are projected to come down slowly. There's a lot of political pressure on the Fed. We're in this cycle. Everything's cyclical, and we're kind of at the top end of this cycle. At some point, rates have to come back down. So I'm hoping we're right here. So in the next 12 to 18 months, if the market doesn't feel comfortable now, expect rates to slowly inch down to the low sixes and eventually in the high 5% range. Now, on that note, don't wait for the media to tell you when to buy a home. Talk to a good realtor, talk to a local mortgage professional, and get their insight. Sometimes when you jump in and everybody else is in the pool, there's no room for you. You're going to get outbid. So knowing how to time the market based on guidance from professionals is invaluable information that you should consider. And at the end of the day, if you got to rent, you got to rent. Some sellers will give you either seller financing or they'll consider a rent-to-own process where every month you make your rental payment and part of that rental payment goes towards building up a down payment so you can eventually buy the home from your landlord. These options are still out there. So in conclusion, you're not powerless. You're not out of options. There are good strategies out there. We just have to think outside the box and know how to navigate a changing market. So here's the deal. This isn't just a housing shortage. There's a generational wealth crisis happening right in front of our eyes. The system just doesn't feel like it was built for us to win, and it feels like the cards in the deck are stacked against us. But if you understand how to play the new game of real estate, there are still strategies that can get you in a home. Get creative, stay informed, build up your credit, save your money, and align yourself with the right professionals in your market that can guide you and help you avoid those blind spots. Now, I hope you got a few ideas from this video. Drop a comment below. Let me know if you have any questions or if you had a good takeaway that might help you think through your plan this year.